Hello, DarthVegan here, and we are back with another episode of Mothership by Tuesday Night Games. Mothership is a sci-fi horror TTRPG. It does contain some scary moments and other adult themes, so be forewarned. Today we're continuing the story of Devon Valentine. If you haven't watched the Thousand Empty Light playthrough, you can do so if you wish. It is not required to enjoy the rest of the campaign that we will be playing. However, there will be some references to some of the events that happened in Thousand Empty Light, and you may be a little bit in the dark, pun intended, for some of the things that end up happening and some of the clues that we end up pursuing. It's black. Just empty black. Devon hears a raspy, familiar voice. The deep! And then an agonized scream. He wakes up sweating in his narrow bunk, safely aboard the Hazmos C station in the Joy system. And now he's going to make a fear save. (64). His fear is 32. So he failed and gains a point of stress. There we go. So ever since Devon got back from TEL 022 on the previous mission, Thousand Empty Light, he has been experiencing nightmares. So every time he wakes up from sleep, he has to make a fear save. And that will continue for 17 days, unless he gets therapy of some sort. So we're going to take note for 17 days. This is one day has just passed because this is the first day. So 16 more days, he will be experiencing nightmares upon waking and have to make a fear save or gain a point of stress. Okay, so I was going to do this off camera, but I decided to record the taking of shore leave for Devon. So after the Thousand Empty Light mission, we had accrued quite a bit of stress. And 18,100. So that leads us with 18,110 credits for our shore leave. What that also means is we get to convert all the stress that we brought from our last mission into a possible skill gain. So the way this works is we're going to make a sanity save. And on success, we will convert some of the stress into improved saves. Each port converts a different amount of stress. A C-class port does a 1d5 amount of stress. So with a critical success, you convert the maximum amount of stress allowed at that port into improved saves and get rid of the remainder. And with a failure, you do not convert any stress, but you relieve all your stress, setting the character back to the minimum stress. Then you gain 1 stress for failing. And then with a critical failure, you do not convert or relieve any stress. You make a panic check. So what we're going to do is we are going to roll 2d10s for our sanity save. Our sanity is currently a 35. So we have to roll better than 35. Ooh, 92. Holy cow. It's not a critical failure, but it is a terrible failure. We don't convert any of our stress into skill points, unfortunately. But we do get to relieve all of our stress, except for the one that we just gained from failing our save. And so now our stress is back up to a 4, because we got 1 from our fear save from our nightmare as well. We are here in the Habitat, which is a collection of small single room dwellings for the inhabitants of the station. It's not a big station. Probably a couple dozen people live here, maybe around 50 at max. It's a very small station. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, you see the little up arrow H. That's the first class habitats. That's for people who are in the administration and are generally well-to-do that might be staying here at the station. Going clockwise from the upper arrow H is the med bay. That's the med bay of the station. Above that is the storage of the station. To the right of that is the admin area. To the right of that is the armory. Down below that is the habs for the plebs, for the poorer people. And down below that is the dock and hangar for any shuttles and ships that might be coming and docking with the station. And then down below that is a maintenance area where they have all the life support and other things. There is artificial gravity in the station as well. And then in the center there is what they call the courtyard. That's where they have some small vendors, job boards, some places to kind of relax and take in the scenery of space, things like that. Devon is currently in his small one-room bunk of his hab, and he paid for his shore leave now. And so Devon gets out of bed. He slips into his Hazmos issued coveralls. They are charcoal gray with a big yellow H on the left breast. His little stitched name patch says David instead of Devon. He doesn't know if that was a mistake or if this is some hand-me-down coveralls that Hazmos is just repurposing. It really could be either. So we're not going to be wearing our vac suit or be carrying around our stuff while we're here in the station. None of our weapon or nothing like that. We do have these coveralls, which is just normal gear, and that will change our armor to a 1 for now, while we're wearing just our normal coveralls. All right, so Devon goes ahead and cleans himself the best he can in the little fold-out sink. His vac suit takes up the majority of the room, and so he's having to dodge around that. He leaves his gear behind, and he heads out into the courtyard of the station. First thing he's going to do is he's going to buy some additional gear that he lost during his time on TEL-022. And the first thing he's going to buy is a crowbar to replace his old crowbar. So a crowbar is 25 credits. So he's going to go ahead and buy that. So he's bought his crowbar. I'm going to add that to his inventory. Now we're also going to buy some additional ammo for his revolver. That is another 50 credits. And we're going to go ahead and pop that up to 12. A magazine for the revolver, I guess, is 6 ammo. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in there. That will do just fine. And then we also want a little satchel or something to carry all his stuff in, because his vac suit has kind of like a built-in backpack. All right, so now we've got 17,985 credits. We've got 4 stress already, and we just woke up. Okay, we did take our shore leave, so got that taken care of. Now we're going to head on over to the job boards of the courtyard, and we're going to take a look and see if we can find a job to take for Devon for our next adventure. While we're looking at the job board, another man walks up. He's very tall. Devon is of average height. well, maybe a little below average height. He's probably around 5'7". This other guy that walks up, he's pretty tall and lanky, probably more like 6'1", 6'2", or something. He's very tall. He kind of glances over at Devon, and he says, "Hey, you look familiar. Do I know you?" Devon kind of looks at him, and he does seem familiar. But before he can say anything, the other guy says, "Ah, I was your pilot, returning from TEL 022. Man, you look a lot better than you did before." Devon says, "Thanks, I guess." The guy reaches out his hand to shake Devon's hand. He says, Cade Zachary, nice to meet you." Devon reaches out as well and says, Devon Valentine." He's going to do a strength check to see who has the best handshake. Ooh, Devon got a 5. He won the handshake. Devon's got a much better handshake than old Cade Zachary. So they get to talking about some things, and asking about how they're doing. That normal small talk that people have when they don't really know each other. They go and sit down and have a little meal together in the courtyard. Just some sandwiches, some pre-processed sandwich food, and Cade mentions that he is looking at a job at a nearby. He's looking at a job in the system at a nearby mining facility. Only a couple day journey from the Hazmos C station. And so they get back up and they go back to the job board, and sure enough, they see the job there, both for the transport and for the maintenance. They're going to be landing on the planet Aria. Aria is a desert planet. Well, desert may be a stretch. It's more like an arid planet. And it has a lot of very valuable minerals on the planet. The problem is, for the job, is that the mining facility's tunneling machine has broken down, and they need someone to come and perform maintenance on that tunneling machine. There is a slight problem, however, is that shuttles and and otherwise atmospheric flight capable ships can't fly to the mining site because of severe dust storms in the area. And so they have to land several 100 kilometers away, and you have to take a train with the equipment from a mag train from the landing port on Aria to the mining facility, which is, like I said, several 100 kilometers away, a several hour trip in the train. And so the two of them, Cade and Devon, talk about it, and they both agree that it would probably be a good job. And they decide they're both going to take the job. The price is not listed of what the job will pay. It basically will depend on circumstances, circumstantial pay. And so Devon and Cade get geared up, and they accept the job in the job board and get ready at the dock to go on this next journey. Devon is not going to need his vac suit in this mission because the air is breathable on Aria. However, they do provide little dust masks because of the severe dust storms. They provide those at the station whenever you get there. for everyone that lands at the station. They provide these dust masks for everyone. So he won't need his vac suit. He's just going to bring his flashlight, his lucky trench shovel. He'll go ahead and bring his MREs, his stim pack, and his crowbar. And he will go ahead and get ready to go on to a shuttle with Cade. While Devon is still at the Hazmos C station, he went to the vendor and went ahead and purchased a satchel for himself and an assorted set of tools. He's just been using Hazmos tools up until now, but he decided to get a set for his own. And I think we're going to go ahead and grab a med kit as well. All right, first aid kit is what it's called. First aid kit, an assortment of dressings and treatments to help stop bleeding, bandage cuts, and treat other minor injuries. So that's we're going to go ahead and grab that for ourself. That is this guy right here, first aid kit, 75 credits. All right, so we want the first aid kit for 75 credits, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that in. That's going to be another there. We're going to pop that into our satchel. We are going to go ahead and move over to the docking bay and see how the loading of the ship is going. So we're going to head on over to the docking bay. As we're walking through the station, the air has a very stale smell and taste, as if it's been recycled one too many times. And Devon is a little bit concerned by that because he is, very well versed in maintenance. So he's a little concerned about the air being so stale. And so he goes to one of the wall monitors. Are everywhere. Every compartment has the wall monitor to show the status of the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and then there's you can drill down in a menu and see like other gases as well, but that's the main two that you check on. And he does notice that the carbon dioxide is a little higher than normal. It's not unsafe, but he's gonna, before he heads on over to the dock, he's gonna go down into the maintenance section and he's gonna take a look and see if there is anything around to indicate there's a problem. All right, so he got an 11, which an 11, we take a look here in the chart, an 11 states, uh-oh, he doesn't immediately see a problem, but definitely there is a problem with some of the machinery leaking some fluid. So one of the carbon scrubbers uses water to kind of filter out some of that carbon dioxide, and then it uses a process to turn that back into oxygen, and then the carbon is then used for other purposes. It seems to be leaking and not performing up to the standard. So I guess now the question is, should Devon go ahead and try to fix it while we're waiting on the ship getting loaded, or should we just go report it and let the maintenance crew handle it? Because after all, it is their job. It's their job to handle this type of situation. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and try to fix it. It looks like it might be an easy fix. So I'm going to go ahead and roll a check. I'm going to do an intellect check with the mechanical repair. That will be a 56 I have to beat. So let's roll and see if we can fix this machinery right quick while we wait on the dropship to be repaired. All right, 15. So we have successfully repaired the faulty carbon scrubber and was able to repair that and get that back into prime working order, thanks to Devon and his abilities with the old spanner, the old wrench. All right, so very good. So by the time we get that done, we're going to head back on over to the docking area here. We're going to move from the maintenance area into the docking area, and remember this is not to scale. This is just an abstract representation of the station. We're going to move into the docking area, and we see there, docked in the docking area with a few of the Hazmos crew, they are busy loading up the Merida Dropship, which this is the Merida Dropship. All right, so let's give you a quick tour of the Merida Dropship. It is currently not in the best of shape. It is owned by Hazmos. It's not a personal ship of either Devon's or anyone else's. It's owned by Hazmos, and it's you can tell it's seen its fair share of duties over the years. It's pretty worn in areas, and a lot of the paint is flaking off, but it does have a big yellow H painted on the side of both sides there. This is a top view of the ship. This area here is the little ramp that drops down beneath the dropship so that people can walk up into the ship, and then also use jacks and pallet jacks and things like that to load cargo. So these little areas here are the seats. It can seat up to 12 passengers. The pilot and or co-pilot can sit here in the front, and then they have started loading these 8 pallets of equipment and supplies that will be going to Aria mining station. So they're currently loading those up with pallet jacks as we speak, and Devon's going to walk on up into the ship, and he sees that Cade Zachary is already in there prepping the ship for takeoff. The ship, the Merida dropship, has no weapons. It's just a dropship, a shuttle, so to speak. It's a very small ship. Doesn't have a jump drive. It has 2 months worth of fuel, and so we can get from our station to the planet Aria in a matter of a few days. And so we're going to take a look at the public sector map here. This is a map of our sector. So we have the Joy system, the Love system, and the Hope system. We're currently in the Joy system here. So you can take a look at the Joy system. There's a variety of things here. Then our locations are not necessarily mapped on this map, but just know that we are in one of the stations here. Let's see. Let's look at the Joy system, see what it has mapped. It doesn't show the things that are even. Oh, here we go. So the Siesta 5 is a C-class Green Star Logistics automated service station. And let's see, what else did we see here? That's number 12, 18, 14. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, a lot of stuff to be seen that we can possibly investigate at a later time. And there's a little ad on this map. I love this. It says, what is hyperspace? Are you worried and confused by REM space terrorism, AI networking, and consumer overload? You're not alone. Many humans agree. Abattoir Family Co.'s new mechanical wonder harvest renewable human body energy to protect all from the bad things you don't want. Skepticism is good for your skin. Buy independence. Buy Abattoir. Contractor servos. Now only 10,000 credits. Something you can buy to, I guess, I'm not exactly sure what it even does by this description, but I'm sure we could find a description of what it does. And then there's 2 other systems in this sector that we could visit and do activities as the campaign progresses. But we'll say that we are here we're kind of like out a little bit of the realm of the Joy system, pretty far from the, well, not too far. This is an asteroid belt here, this little pink line. We're outside the asteroid belt, and that planet Aria is a desert planet, and so it stays warm the majority of the time. It does have a breathable atmosphere, but just barely. There's lots and lots of dust in the air, like all the time, and the weather is very inclement. So dropships can only land in very specific areas that don't have severe weather constantly. and then you have to take trains from those little spaceports to the different locations. So we're going to be landing on one of those dropship stations, and then we're going to take a train from there to the mining facility on Aria, where they need these supplies and things. All right, so we are now on the Merida dropship. Everything has been loaded up, and we're going to get ready to go on our trip. Cade and Devon are both going to sit in the front here, and they're going to close the hatch there so a little yellow light flashes both on the inside and on the outside of the ship, indicating that personnel need to stand away from the door as it closes with a hiss. And now Cade is going to use the RCS thrusters to lift off from the docking bay of the station and proceed to remove itself from the station docking area. Whenever this docking procedure occurs, some doors open to outer space, and the artificial gravity is turned off for this room, and it can then use just simple RCS thrusters to navigate out of the docking bay and into space. Cade indicates to Devon that there is in the back here in these little supply cabinets, there are some med kits and some supplies if needed during the journey. There's enough food and water for both of them for the trip there and back. And that's going to take a total of 2 days there, 2 days back. Not bad. All right, so there's some fold-out cots in here as well that they can use. And then also Cade points out to Devon that there are 2 vac suits in case of an emergency. They can use those vac suits, and like if they have a hull breach or something inside the ship, and they don't have to worry about being exposed to outer space. So they're going to go ahead and begin their journey. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to see if anything happens during the journey here. So I'm going to go ahead and roll a Oracle roll. The first day of the journey. Let's see what happens. I rolled a 1 and a 0, so a 10. So a 10, compression pressure. So as they're flying, the first day out, like I said, the ship is not in the best shape, but it's not in the best of shape. So they're flying, and then all of a sudden they hear a loud, like, boom, like a bearing or a piston or something is thrown in their ship's pressurization system, and all of a sudden lots and lots of air is being pressed into the cabin of the ship. And so both Devon and Cade go ahead and start moving as quickly as their eyes are starting to feel the pressure, and their ears are starting to pop as they feel the pressure rising and rising and rising in the ship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and roll for both Devon and Cade to see if they get their suits on in time before they are damaged by this overpressurization. So first we'll do Devon. Devon has a speed of 40, and he does have 0G skill, which allows him to move in 0G and don and doff and maneuver inside of a pressure suit, and so a vac suit. So he will get a 50 on his roll, and he's not in a pressure suit yet, so he doesn't get that disadvantage. But we're going to go ahead and roll and see if we can beat a 50. Oh, 81. Dang. So Devon does not get into his suit in time, and unfortunately he does gain a stress from that because of the rising pressure. And then he's also going to see if he can avoid getting damaged. So he did get stressed from it, and let's see, does he take any body damage from that, or is he able to kind of like you know, resist the pressure, a sheer strength of will, or in this case, a body roll. So we will roll for body. All right, he did roll under his 31 for body, and so he did not take any damage. He just took a little bit of stress from that. Okay, and now it is time for Cade to go ahead and roll his stats. I don't have his stats on the screen, but Cade's speed is very similar to Devon's. All right, so here is Cade's sheet. He's like I said, he's a teamster as well. He's a pilot, and here's all his stuff. But anyway, he's going to try to first. He has to make a speed save as well to see if he gets into his suit in time. So he gets the same. He's got a 58, but he failed as well. So he takes a stress. And then also now he's going to roll for a body check to see if he can resist the pressure or if he takes damage. Ooh, he takes damage. All right, he has 24 health instead of 20 like Devon. So he's going to take a 1d6 of damage from the pressure, and that is a 4. All right. So he's down to 20 hit points, or health, rather. All right, so now that they are both in their vac suits, however, Devon is going to go ahead and get to work on fixing the pressurization system. And he's going to go ahead and try to roll an intellect mechanical repair. That's going to be a 56. What does he get? All right, 39. So he's able to fix the pressurization system, and the pressure comes back down to normal. All of the alarms quit blaring, and Devon and Cade can go ahead and come out of their suits once again and continue on their journey. And that's going to be the first day there. And so he's going to go ahead and take some rest. Both of them will take a rest. All right, so they're going to take turns resting during that first night. So Devon's going to take the first rest while Cade continues to fly. And what we're going to do during this rest is we're going to take a rest save using our worst save. So Devon's worst save is his body. It's 31. So we're going to roll and see if we reduce stress by the ones digit rolled, if we succeed. If we fail, we gain another stress. Okay. Now, Devon and Cade could have consensual sex or any other suitable leisure activity, but that's not gonna happen in this case. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and roll a body save for Devon first, and he got a 9. So great. He now gets to reduce his stress by the ones digit, which in this case is the 9. So he's going to get to reduce his stress back down to 0, matter of fact, which is great. So let's go ahead and reduce his stress down to 0. I'm assuming you can get down to 0, but you start at 2 normally. That's what I'm going to assume. So anyway, that's how we're going to play it. If you have a different theory about your starting stress, you can let me know in the comments down below. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing for Cade. Cade is going to rest. With the way space travel works, of course, is that you set a course and you make a burn, and then you pretty much turn off the engine and you just coast, so to speak, until you get to your destination. So there's nothing really for the pilot to do during these times other than, monitoring systems and things. So Devon he knows enough to be able to at least monitor the systems, and if something happens and there's an emergency, he can wake up Cade and they can take care of it. But so now Cade's going to go ahead and take a rest and see if he can reduce his stress as well. Cade's stress is his lowest save is his sanity save, so he's going to roll. Oof. Cade is not rolling well today, so Cade gains another stress. He does not get to reduce any of his stress. Oh, poor Cade. All right. So the first day is over. Devon, during his sleep, is of course he wakes up with a nightmare. Of course, he dreams about TEL-022, and he dreams about the other lamplighter and how he abandoned him and basically caused that creature to attack him. And so we're going to reduce our nightmare count to 15 days now. Devon has another day. All right. And then he has to roll a fear save after waking from his nightmare. So he's going to go ahead and do that. Doesn't get any adjustments to the roll, but he did pass it. So he got a 25 out of 32. So that's good. No additional stress for Devon. That's great. And he's now in good shape. So the second day, we are traveling along. Let's go ahead and roll to see if anything happens on the second day. We're going to roll an oracle save. Or not an oracle save, an oracle check. 58, so that's an 8. What happens the second day? Laser, light, or fire. Ooh, my gosh. All right, so second day, we're driving along. There is a short in some of the equipment, and a minor fire starts in the cabin. Of course, fires are very dangerous in ships due to the oxygenation of the environment, but you know, they do a pretty good job. Well, let's just check. Did they do a good job of balancing the oxygen and nitrogen so there's not a flash fire? 12. No. Uh-oh. So low gravity weight. In reality, that we're not going to worry about that. So instead of it just being a minor fire, suddenly there is a fire raging in the compartment there. And Devon is going to make a speed check to see if he can go and fight the fire. It's back here in the cabin area due to a short. He's going to run back there, grab the emergency fire extinguisher, and he's going to try to put out this massive conflagration. Now, unfortunately, since there was a flash fire, it's spreading very rapidly. So he's going to have to make a speed check first, and then he'll have to also make a second speed check to see if he can get it before it spreads again. So the way I'm going to do it is, there is a fire. He's going to first stop it from spreading with a speed check. After he stops it from spreading, he has to make another speed check or to put it out. If he does not put it out, then it spreads again. And so we're going to have to constantly make checks until we can get 2 checks in a row, basically. And every time we fail, we're going to get a stress. So first of all, just the fact that we get a fire at all is going to cause stress to both Devon and to Cade here. So they both get stressed from that. And now Devon is going to make a speed check. And he got a 7. Great. So he's able to keep it from spreading. So that's great. Can he make another speed check and put it out completely? Yes. Fantastic. So he was able to act quickly. Devon is Johnny on the spot. And he put out the fire. And they were able to successfully keep the fire from spreading and causing a lot of damage inside the ship. So fantastic. So now we are going to go ahead and rest for this night. And then on this third day, we will be able to descend to Aria. They can already start to see Aria on the view screen. It's growing in size every hour that passes. And we're going to go ahead and make one more rest save here. Or I could do nothing, and he only has 1 stress. So actually, I'm not going to make a save because he only has 1 stress, He might get another stress from a nightmare when he wakes up. Who knows? But we'll go ahead and sleep and see if he gets a nightmare upon waking. Ooh, 56. Yes, he did. All right, so he does get another stress, unfortunately, from his nightmare about TEL-022 and the lamplighter that he left behind. And we are going to update our counter from 15 to 14 days now. And now he's going to take his turn, and Cade is going to take his rest. Does Cade need... Cade is up to 5 stress, but I don't think he needs to try to reduce his stress. He's fine at this point. So he's just going to rest. And I think when you rest, you can heal as well. Okay, after 6+ hours of rest, you can make a body save. It's successful. Reset health to maximum. All right. So he will make a body save. Cade's body is 34, 34, and he rolled a 40. So he does not get to heal up from his compression wounds. All right. So that is the end of the second day. It's now the third day, and they can see Aria in the view screen coming up. And they're going to descend according to the instructions to the station house that are to the the landing pad that is near the train station that will take them to the mining facility Alpha. And so we don't really know what they're mining there. All we know is that their tunneler that they use there for the mine is no longer functioning, is broken, and they need some parts to repair that. And so we're here to deliver those parts. And some of the the parts, and then we also have some normal supplies that they wanted to send as well, just to incorporate two runs in one. So it's just some food and water, medical supplies, things like that. So we have both maintenance supplies and medical and food supplies that are going to be going to this place as well. Thank you for watching part 1 of HellTrain. This is a Mothership module featuring Devon Valentine and Cade Zachary. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure and hit that like button and stay tuned for more episodes. Bye.